Welcome back, everybody. Brady Cannon with you on SportsGrid. We are live on the Venetian Expo floor here at G2E, the Global Gaming Expo of 2025 in Las Vegas, Nevada. And we were lucky enough last year to speak with this next gentleman. He's back again for more. He can't get enough of the guys over at SportsGrid. It's Benjie Cherniak. How you been, man?
I've been good, man. I was just saying to you before we got mic'd up here that a year goes by very quickly.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's great to see you again. It feels like not too long ago at all. Benjie, you are a greatly revered executive in the gaming industry here in Las Vegas specifically. You're an investor. You're a former company owner, owned Don Best Sports. What's the latest in your world?
Yeah, no, thank you for that. I don't know that anybody's referred to me as revered before, but I'll take it. Look, these days, I don't know if I'd want to categorize myself in any way as it pertains to what I'm up to. Mostly, and really this applies to since selling Don Best to what was then Sci Games, now Light & Wonder, over the last 5 years, I've just been kind of taking on projects that are of interest to me. And that's a little bit across the gamut of some advisory and consulting type work. I've invested in some incredible startups, and I get to work with some amazing up-and-coming entrepreneurs and help them in their journeys. I assist some entrepreneurs in M&A and the sale of their companies. I sit on some boards. I'm on the board of a public European company on the Swedish exchange called Benjie Sports. They still have a very significant presence in the U.S. market where we are right now. And of significant interest is they've just achieved licensure here in Nevada.
Yes.
So I think it's worth keeping an eye on Benjie as it pertains to the Nevada market, and I expect that they'll become a major B2B player within Nevada over the next year to 2 years, something to keep an eye on. But yeah, I've been a little bit all over the map in terms of things that I'm involved in.
We were lucky enough to speak with a gentleman I'm sure you're familiar with, Werner Becker, the CEO of Benjie. Great conversation. Talk to me about Benjie and Mr. Becker.
Yeah, I mean, Werner is obviously a phenomenal executive. He spent some years in our industry in various stints, most recently heading up U.S. and North American operations for Sportradar. We just got really lucky, when our previous CEO, Christian Nyland, decided to step down and move from his CEO seat that he did an incredible job with over, I think, 13 or 14 years into his board position, kind of left a void in terms of who do we want to bring in to run the company, and was the second long-standing CEO, and we just got really lucky that Werner had recently left Sportradar and was available. And look, there were a few candidates being looked at, but at the end of the day, I think it was a pretty easy consensus among folks and amongst the board that Werner was the guy to go with. And you met him, he's personable.
Yes, he
gets it. I think he really understands leadership and leading by example. So can't think of a better fit to succeed Christian and kind of take the next level forward. And look, there's some challenges that we Benjie face as a company and as a board in trying to provide the appropriate strategic guidance and making the best decisions to represent interests of shareholders. But we're making some difficult decisions now, but I think that we're really well positioned for growth, both globally as well as within the U.S. and certainly within the Nevada market in particular. So something definitely for us to keep an eye on.
You mentioned earlier that you've had some really exciting projects working with some great entrepreneurs and some startups. Tell us about maybe a company or two, one of your favorite experiences in the last year.
I'll even go back further than a year. A couple of companies that I was fortunate enough to be involved with that exited in 2024. And one of them is a company called Zero Flux, which was acquired by Caesars. And Zero Flux was a provider of same-game parlay technology.
Okay.
In the early evolution of same-game parlays, the technology was relatively primitive, and I think Steve Gray, the founder of Zero Flux, was the first one to really bring that into the forefront in a way to modernize the tech stack and to bring in the appropriate mathematical formulas to allow this to become an extension of a sportsbook's existing pricing. And just a phenomenal guy, phenomenal product, and part of the energy that gets me excited of working with entrepreneurs, the right combination of fire in the belly, taking ownership of it, bootstrapped mentality of making every dollar count, and then working collectively and getting to an exit, which in this case was Caesars Entertainment. And he's now a senior executive there and driving things forward, and so happy for him, and on a personal basis, a good financial result for me. There's a number of companies that I'm involved with right now that I find really exciting. On the sports betting side, I'm also on their board, but it's an upstart company based in Miami called Hero Gaming.
Yes, I spoke, I believe, with the president.
Tomasz Devanishek.
Really nice guy.
He is a super guy. For me, as someone who invests in company and advises companies, you're looking for the complete package in an entrepreneur, and I think Tomasz is all of that. He's exceptionally bright. He has a real strong tech background. He understands that aspect operationally. He's got innate leadership skills. He's always learning to understand our space. He's another guy who's been a pleasure to work with, and it's been nice to see the company now taking on some significant U.S. clients, of which Caesars is one. We have some big ones up in Canada as well. Bet99 has just come on board. Some others being announced shortly in the U.S., and we can publicly say that Saracen is now live on the platform as well. And just seeing that product come to life this NFL season, it's just been a lot of fun to watch.
Benjie Cherniak is our guest. He is a revered executive here in the gaming industry in Las Vegas and all over the world. Our pleasure to have him join us here at G2E once again. What's some of the stuff that is fresh on your radar that you're really excited about in the gaming industry, where we're headed?
So I think all of those things you mentioned are obviously super exciting, and I don't need to be the 17th person in a row to talk about prediction markets, so I won't be. Another trend that's maybe a little less talked about that I think to me is really exciting is the crossroads between iGaming and iGaming gamification and streamers and how all that comes together. But I think that entire sector is evolving, and I think that the way in which casinos and sportsbooks enable a more comprehensive streaming experience is something that you're going to see evolve tremendously.
Is it personalizing it more so?
I think it's personalizing it, and it's bringing the players more into the experience rather than watching, being a part of that experience.
Very cool.
And I think we're still at really early stages of how to get that technology right and how to get that experience right, and it's going to be a longer term journey. But I think if we come back in a year from now, you're going to hear that dynamic being talked about more than it is being talked about today.
Write it down, folks. He's on the cutting edge. It's Benjie Cherniak, one of the, like I say, leading executives here in the gambling space all over the world. Happy to have you join us once again. Thanks so much, sir. I'll hope to see you soon again.
Thanks for having me. Much appreciated.